20 of the top new features found in the iPhone 6s. What is up, guys? First of all, let's talk about my favorite feature by a long shot. It's 2 gigabytes of RAM. The iPhone 6s now has enough RAM to run decently, and that means you're not going to find Safari tabs refreshing every time you switch to a new tab, or every time you leave the app, come back, the whole website has to refresh. Now, you saw I had tons of tabs in Safari and I can switch to them at will. There's no refreshing because there's enough memory to save that tab in memory without dumping it out to accommodate other information. And that's even the case when I'm running additional apps. Like, I'll show you here in just a second, but I just want to show you how easily I could switch through all these tabs with no problem. Pretty impressive there. I know it's something so small, like it's not a huge deal for your Safari tab to refresh, but it is actually if you're working on something in Safari, it refreshes and you lose all your progress that you were working on. That does make you upset. It is annoying. So having 2 gigs of RAM, it was rumored for a while. It was rumored that the iPhone 6 would have 2 gigs of RAM. That didn't happen, unfortunately, but now we finally have it. 2 gigs of RAM. And again, I'm running other applications here. I'm gonna open up GarageBand, play around with that a little bit. So there's GarageBand, and I'm gonna play with some of the other apps. There's iMovie. So you can see I'm loading other apps, and these aren't tiny apps. I'm loading other apps into memory, and I'm gonna be able to go back into Safari here in just a second and show you guys that, everything's still there. All the tabs are there. I'm not going to have to refresh at all. So let me open up Apple News here. And I just want to get a whole bunch of stuff loaded in memory just to show you guys how big of a change this really is. So we're going to go back into Safari now, and I'm going to just switch to a tab. So I'll switch to IDB, and you can see it didn't have to refresh that tab. 2 gigabytes of RAM makes a huge difference. The next favorite feature is Rose Gold. Now, when I first heard that rose gold may be a new color for the iPhone, I didn't really know how to take that. I was like, I guess it'll be all right. But actually seeing this thing in person, it looks really good. It's sort of a metallic color. It sort of changes colors depending on how the light hits it. And I just think it's kind of like a breath of fresh air. It's something new. If you're the type of person that wants everyone to know that you have the latest iPhone, then this is the only way to really do that, because all the other models look exactly the same as the previous models. So, but that's probably not going to be most of your all's reasoning for getting a rose gold. I'm just getting it because it looks good and it's new and looks fresh and clean, and hey, pink's a pretty cool color. Now, unless you were living under a rock last year, you heard about bendgate, where if you apply too much pressure at the wrong pressure points, then your iPhone would actually bend. Apple has remedied this by using 7000 series aluminum, and it's extra tough. Now, another thing to toughen up your iPhone is the inclusion of Ion X glass for the screen. This is the same glass used in the Apple Watch, and as a result, it makes your screen stronger and more durable. Now, the 12 megapixel rear camera really ups the ante as far as pixels are concerned. Pixel density in your photos, they're going to look a lot crisper this time around thanks to this new 12 megapixel shooter. And the front facing camera got some love as well. Now it's a 5 megapixel front facing camera, so it doesn't have that blurry, just nasty looking effect. Now your front facing photos actually look, well, really good, and it's perfect for selfies, which we'll talk about in just a second. It's perfect for apps like Snapchat. So yeah, it's leaps and bounds better than last year's front-facing camera. And speaking of selfies, there's a new Retina Flash feature which will flash your screen to light up your selfie photos just right. Now, in case you haven't noticed, the new iPhone 6s is heavily focused on improving the camera, and that includes video as well. You can now shoot 4K videos at 30 frames per second. Just go into the photo and camera settings and change the option there, and this is what you get. Now, 4K video is 4 times the resolution of Full HD, so you get more pixels on screen and therefore a crisper picture. And you can tell the difference on a computer monitor, but you really need a 4K screen to truly appreciate it. Now, another addition to this generation is optical image stabilization for video. Now, this is for the iPhone 6 6S Plus only, which is on the right side of the screen there. That is the iPhone 6S Plus. The iPhone 6S does not have optical image stabilization for either still photos or video. So it does make a difference. You see the camera's a lot more shaky on the left, which is just the iPhone 6S. And on the right side, the iPhone 6S Plus with OIS, it is a lot smoother. And you'll notice this even more so when you're shooting videos yourself. And this is obviously beneficial for those of you who like to shoot handheld, meaning you're not mounting your iPhone to a tripod when you're shooting video or taking photos. You're actually holding the camera in your hand. You're going to get a smoother photo or a smoother video than you would otherwise, as you can tell here. Now, the effect is even more pronounced when you're just shooting the video by itself. It's not sharing the screen and it's not cropped as I've done here, but you get the point. You just get smoother video when you have an OIS enabled camera like the iPhone 6S Plus. Now, I gotta be honest with you guys, I thought live photos was sort of a gimmick feature, and I even talked about it on a podcast, but it's quickly become one of my favorite features on the new iPhone 6S. It allows you to see a snippet before and a snippet after of the photos that you take live. So it's actually like a video before and a video after the photo. So you can kind of see and gain context of the photo and what was happening with your subject at the time. Now, obviously this works better for, moving objects or for animate objects like people and animals, of course. And one of the really cool things is that you can set a live photo as your wallpaper. So if you 3D touch your wallpaper on your lock screen, you can see it moving right there before your eyes. It sounds gimmicky, but trust me, if you have kids, you have animals, you're gonna love this thing. Now, along with the live photos that the user takes, Apple has also included its own live wallpaper, and that's found within the wallpaper section of the preferences. Now, there are 9 different wallpapers to choose from. You have, I think it looks like 6 different fish and then 3 different sort of like smoke scenes, which is pretty much the best way I can describe it, but it looks really cool. So watch this. I'm going to 3D touch on my lock screen, and you can see the smoke move just like that. Pretty awesome effect. So again, there are 2 additional smoke scenes, but there's also lots of fish to check out. So let's go back into our live section. Let's check out one of these fish here. So there's one, and I'm gonna lock my device, and I'm gonna 3D touch the screen to animate the fish. Just like that. Pretty cool, huh? Now, I don't think anyone complained about Touch ID speed on the last iPhone, but it's even faster now. Watch this. Look how quick it unlocks your device there. It's almost instantaneous, so much so that you pretty much can't press the home button just to wake your device and check the lock screen for notification, because it's going to unlock your device instantly. I mean, it's really that fast. Now, Apple is claiming that there's now faster Wi-Fi in the iPhone 6S. I don't doubt that at all, but it's so hard to test because there's just so many varying factors involved, so I don't even really try to test that. But according to Apple, there is faster Wi-Fi in this new iPhone 6S. And there's faster LTE, but the same principle applies there as well. And Apple has updated Bluetooth in the iPhone 6S, which could mean less interference between it and LTE, which is a good thing. Now, here is another flagship feature. 3D Touch is awesome. Basically, you press in on the screen on an app icon, for instance, and you can get some additional options, like you can go directly to a search or directly to a new message for the Mail app, or you can go directly to create a new message right there in the Messages app. There's all sorts of 3D Touch actions that you can perform here on the home screen. But it's not just limited to the home screen app icons. You can, for instance, press on a message lightly in the Mail app to peek at a message, just like that, and sort of read it. And if you slide up, you can perform actions, or you can press harder to pop the message into a full screen view and read the message as if you navigated there normally. I'm telling you, 3D Touch feels like an absolute game changer to me, and a really cool thing about this is that third-party developers can get in the game. They can implement 3D Touch inside their apps on the home screen with their app icons and do all sorts of cool things. Think about gamers. Think about gaming with 3D Touch. This, I'm telling you, is the big feature that we're going to see implemented in all sorts of phones copying off the iPhone 6S in the future. Trust me. Now the iPhone 6s has ditched the traditional vibration motor for something a lot more nuanced, the Taptic engine. It's a similar thing to what's used in the Apple Watch for more subtle feedback. Now another major thing that you're going to notice with the iPhone 6s is the inclusion of the A9 processor. This is just the raw speed behind this phone. The A9 processor is much faster than its predecessor, the A8, and as you can see here, games start up faster, the phone boots faster, everything's faster with the new iPhone 6s and the A9 processor. It's a beast of a device, and the benchmarks prove it. If you haven't seen our post on IDB, we showed some benchmarks. This thing runs circles around pretty much any phone out right now, and even competes very closely with the iPad Air 2, which everyone knows is a beast of a device. This one is pretty close to that. So it's amazing what Apple has been able to do with the custom chip design. It's really allowed them to pull ahead of the competition. And we can see this boot test here. The iPhone 6s is already done and the iPhone 6 Plus is still booting. And we're not going to even wait for this thing to complete because it's still booting up there. Now another new feature is the embedded M9 motion coprocessor. Not only will it allow you to count your steps, but it also can track whether you're walking or running, and it also works with the new, yes right here, untethered Hey Siri functionality. This is courtesy of that M9 motion coprocessor, so you can do things like this. The phone isn't even plugged in, yet Siri is always at your beck and call. Folks, that has been 20 features found in the new iPhone 6s and 6s Plus. Let me know what you guys think down below in the comments. Which one is your favorite? Leave me a thumbs up if you appreciated this video. This is Jeff with iDownload Blog.